Okay, so don't send me the Nobel Peace Prize yet, but I think I might have cancelled Piers Morgan. So he has a new show called Piers Morgan Uncensored on Rupert Murdoch's right-wing TV channel in the UK, which is called Talk TV. And it brands itself on saying the outrageous things that no one else is brave enough to say, totally uncensored. I was on the show a few weeks ago and they asked me to come back on last Thursday. The slot was kind of booked into my diary in advance and they said, we'll ring you in the morning, let you know what subjects we're going to talk about. They wanted to talk about Partygate and they wanted to talk about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle attending the Queen's Jubilee celebrations. And I told them what my opinions on those subjects were. They went off and had a morning meeting with the production team. They came back and they said, yeah, great, really looking forward to having you on. There's a couple of things we don't want you to bring up. And I said, okay, I wasn't that surprised. I went on the show and I said the things that I wanted to say, not including the things I'd been told not to bring up. And afterwards I was discussing it on Twitter and I joked and said, there are at least 3 things the production team told me not to say, hashtag not really that uncensored, hashtag Piers Morgan censored. And Piers himself responded to that tweet saying, I've checked and that's rubbish. You weren't censored at all. What a load of nonsense. And it occurred to me that it is quite ridiculous for him to call the show uncensored when the production team are then going to tell people what they can and can't say. And so I put a few tentative messages out and the Daily Mirror, the newspaper, were quite interested in covering the story. I wrote a column for them and they wrote a news article about it as well. And what I said in the article was a bunch of things. First of all, I said that I totally understand when shows make editorial decisions. I actually don't believe that it's censoring when they choose which guests to put on, because that means which guests are not going on. I bet you were not invited to go on Piers Morgan Uncensored. So in a sense, you've been censored. But that's not how it works. Not everybody can have their own TV show, and some people definitely shouldn't. Censorship is when people's freedom of speech is taken away. They're threatened with prison. They're banned from saying things, these kind of things. Not when they're not put on mainstream or not very mainstream TV. But you see, on the same show, Piers Morgan constantly accuses the left of censoring things. So that specific episode, he said that when schools had taken To Kill a Mockingbird off of the English literature curriculum and replaced it with books by a wider range of more diverse authors, that was censorship. But nobody had been banned from reading the book. Nobody had been sent to prison for it. Nobody had had the books taken away from them or burnt in the street. It's not censorship. It's a choice, a syllabus editing choice, in the same way that telling me which subjects they want me to bring up and which ones they don't is an editing choice. But by Piers' definition, that is censorship. So I don't see any reason why I shouldn't claim to have been equally censored. The story got quite a lot of coverage. It was picked up in quite a lot of other newspapers and on online sites. There was a lot of reaction to it on social media. And the following morning, I woke up to discover that Piers Morgan had blocked me on Twitter, which is hilarious given that his profile literally says Piers Morgan Uncensored. You are not allowed to read these tweets. And I shared that because I thought it was funny, and of course that got a huge reaction everywhere as well. And the next thing to come out of Piers Morgan was the announcement that he is going to leave the show and take a 6-week holiday. And of course he's definitely coming back, and the fact that his ratings are terrible and loads of people online are calling him out as a complete hypocrite has got nothing to do with that. But let's not forget that when Andrew Neil took a short holiday from GB News, what he meant was, I've realised this is a sinking ship and I'm leaving before it gets any worse. So it seems like there is at least a chance that I have closed down Piers Morgan's last remaining TV show and taken him off air, and for that you are most welcome. If, on the other hand, he does come back and he wants to prove that there's just no such thing as censorship on his show, he is very welcome to have me back on for my usual fee, and I will say all of the things that he didn't want me to say, which specifically are that his attitude to Harry and Meghan is vindictive, that his attitude to Harry and Meghan is childish, and that his attitude to Harry and to Meghan herself is particularly ridiculous because, and I quote, it doesn't matter how many hours you spend slagging her off, Piers, she's still not going to shag you. Censored. See you next week.